Okay. I need to see if this is actually if you can hear me. Um, I had music playing with that back in a moment logo, and it doesn't maybe look like. Okay.
Oh,
I guess you can hear me. Okay.
you
Well,
can hear me.
that's I don't know why.
I had music.
Um, don't know why you couldn't hear the music. I'm still figuring all this live stream stuff out. But today, oh, and I probably shouldn't be showing that either, should I? I don't know if that had any um, pertinent information on there, but nobody's watching currently at the moment. So, um, yes. So what we're gonna do today is pick up where we left off, do some alpha beta testing, um, testing Blender 5.0. I'm calling this Frenzy Hangouts now. It says alpha beta hangout testing still, doesn't it? Can I change that on the fly here? Because to be honest, between YouTube and OBS Studio, it's a bit wonky. Again, and I'm like learning how to do this on my own. So nobody's showed me. But what did I call it? It's supposed to be Frenzy Hangouts now. Frenzy Hangouts, because we'll be doing all sorts of stuff. Today is testing Blender 5.0 Alpha. Can I save that while we're doing it? Oh yeah, good. Okay. Um, and now for some reason it's I'm using the YouTube Studio app or on the browser, and not in the OBS Studio thing. I don't exactly know how that worked. Every time I do it, it's slightly different. So, anyway, that's probably boring for you. Let's get into Blender. Let's open up the launcher. Um, and I think what I'm going to start with is the logo for the Frenzy Hangouts here. Why is this being like it's being? Here we go. Blender launcher, and do we have a new one yet? Let's go to the daily downloads. Daily. Okay, so I have the 5.0 daily installed, which was as of October 2nd, 2025. Almost said 2005. That's a long time ago. That's what was Blender back in 2005? Like 2.2? I don't know. Um, let's see here. So library daily October 2nd. So we're going to launch this one. I had found some really exciting things last time about the Blender 5.0 video sequence editor, which, if you don't know, that's what I'm testing for the alpha testing and the beta testing. Is going to be focused on the video editing portion of it, but if you have suggestions and you want me to test something, I certainly will give it a thought at least, and we could maybe do that together. But video editing, and I'll just close that because I don't usually use the browser, although we can maybe test that later. Let me see if, okay, so we've got 3 views. Also, trying to see if I can maybe, can I get my buddy up here? A buddy of mine does color cast. He's a colorist. He is also creating his own comic book. So if you guys are interested in that, his channel is very small, but it would be awesome if you guys gave him a watch and a like. It's called Pigmacast Studio. Um, Let me pull it up here and see if I can. Uh, okay. Oh, at 7:30. Okay, so it's in 10 minutes. So here, let me just quick show you. Um, Here we go. This is a good friend of mine, um, W. Frank Walk. He goes by Frank, and that's his channel. And so he does live color coloring of comics, and he uses specific software for that. But so he gets the outline of the comic, and he does all of the shading and the colors and everything. And he gets to kind of choose what to do, and he kind of as he does it, it's not necessarily a tutorial, just kind of a live cast like I'm doing here. But he'll give you tips and tricks, and especially if you make a comment. He usually reads all of the comments because, again, channel's fairly small right now. So I wanted to give him a shout out and give him a like. If you want to go ahead and not watch this one, but you can watch that one as well, or instead. So up to you, your choice. Anyway, shout out to my good friend Frank at Pygmacast there. But what I thought we would start with is just a little thing here with Blender Frenzy, the Frenzy Hangouts. So I want to see if I can do a little like put the logo here where I do this, but it says Frenzy Hangouts instead of just my regular logo. So what I want to try to do is find the one of my other logos here. Is this okay? Ooh, logo Blender Frenzy. Oh, here's the transparent one. We can try both of them. So I've got one that has the white background and one that has transparent. If the white background doesn't work, I'll do the transparent one. But basically, I want the frenzy portion of this. So I just dragged these two pictures in here. What I think I'm going to do, we're going to mess with that one later. What I think I'm going to do to test the Alpha 5.0, we're just going to get right into it. One of the things that I did a live stream a couple days ago. One of the things from that is really super cool is gotta make sure I'm watching all of my is the video sequence editor and the compositor are now linked to each other, meaning basically it's like the video sequence editor has now its own geometry nodes portion that includes the compositor. So what I mean is it's like a modifier. If you in the 3D mode you have the modifiers, and if you add a modifier, you can add a compositor modifier, which this acts just like a geometry nodes modifier. And then if you click new, then you have sequencer compositor nodes. You can, I'm guessing, rename this to whatever you want. I'm just going to keep it like that for now. And then over here I'm going to put this to the compositor, and now we have, not only do we have the compositor, but we have another drop down here to choose sequencer. And now this is the geometry nodes group input and group output and viewer node from this. So we can basically take whatever is being input here, and that's the group input, just like normal, and then we can do something to this, and then we can spit it out to the group output, which comes back over here to the modifiers, and it displays it in our video sequence editor. Super cool. I did mess around with this a little bit last night. I didn't get a chance to do a lot of it, but we're going to do some green screen keying with it. This is basically what I want to focus on today. I just want to kind of give this a test and kind of put it through the ringer to see what all can be done and what all can't be done. And I did find, I think, a couple of bugs with this. Actually, the first one we can actually go over right now, I think, is doesn't have anything to do with the compositor, but if I press spacebar to play, or even if I pause this and press play here, you can see it doesn't do anything. It looks like it's kind of doing something with the frames per second up here, but it's not moving. And I found out if you just wait for an unknown amount of time, eventually it will go. It's been between like 10 seconds to like a couple of minutes, and then it just starts playing. And I don't know what the deal is with that. And again, that was the Blender 5.0 daily build for a couple days ago, so it's not, I haven't even tested this portion on this yet, and as you can see, it doesn't look like that's going. Something that I did, I was reading up on this bug, because this bug actually has existed in the past as well. What they said is if you come to playback, you can actually change the sync audio and do like play every frame and then play it, and so then you can start to play it. But I think when you maybe if I press Control E refreshes this, and it may have something to do with the prefetch frames too, which I don't like being enabled automatically. That's not something that I really like doing, or having enabled automatically. But now let's go back to sync to audio. Since there is no audio in here, that's also be why it's like that. Let me try turning off the prefetch frames has now moved down to here. It used to be up here in the view area. So it's not under use proxies anymore. It is now in the cache settings, which is where it belongs because has to do with cache, and that's this blue line up here. You can see that all of this is cached in. I'm just going to turn that off, see if that makes a difference at all. And it doesn't seem to be making that much of a difference. And again, if I wait, or if I go to the beginning and wait, see if it starts, which it doesn't look like it really is going to. Maybe if I uncheck play audio. Okay, well that's still not working. Yeah, so frame dropping. It plays on frame dropping. It plays on play every frame. But it looks like it gets stuck from sync to audio, which may not be the case if you actually have audio in here. So for now, I guess so we can play it, I'm just going to do play every frame because that's really what I wanted to do anyway. Frame dropping, where it'll just play, try to keep up the speed and play as many frames as it can. But it won't hang on to every one. If it tries to play every frame like I have it set, and you have audio and stuff, it's just going to go super slow, and it'll be out of sync with the audio, which is why you have that option here. But yeah, looks like that may be a bug. Anyway, another bug. Well, let's do the keying. So what I want to try to do is get rid of the white here, which I already have here. But I thought we get it, do the white here and do a keying to try to eliminate the white. Let me see if I just make sure I have my live streaming pulled up here. Okay, so we've got no views currently, but that's okay. I know you guys may join later. You probably have other things going on this evening. Totally fine. Let me add a keying node here now, just a regular key, and that's going to eliminate all the white. Now, I don't understand what's happening here, and this may just be the keying color. If I bring that down, okay, that's not doing anything. Yeah, that's weird, and that didn't even change anything when I changed that color to black. Okay, well maybe okay, so now if I kind of change it. Okay, now it's black, now it's white. But the key color being white, it's supposed to get rid of the white. And I wonder if this is the case with the coding on any of these, but what I found is that coming over here, now this is the opacity of the image strip itself. And if I put something down here, so let's like do another color, black, or I don't know, just put like a blue or something, a dark blue. So if I'm keying out the white, I should be able to actually see the blue underneath, right? Actually, let's not do blue since let's just do hot pink there, since I have blue in my text. Well, right now it's actually getting rid of the blue, which again I don't really quite understand why that's happening. Maybe if I pull the saturation up a little bit. Yeah, you can see it's not really. Having that saturation be all at red. Yeah. So that's not working as well as I would have hoped. We can change the hue here, and you can see it's kind of doing something. If I bring this over to the blue, it's getting rid of that blue, which I would expect for the king, because whatever the key color is here, you would get rid of that color from here. So if you had a green background, you'd do the keying for the green. Put the key green color here and adjust that. So that's not happening, but let's bring this back to white. What should be happening though is that we should be seeing this color down beneath it, because this is an alpha over, and even when I put it at overlay, it's not doing anything. Which I thought they got rid of overlay, because overlay and alpha over I thought were the same thing, unless they changed overlay to something different. I don't know. But what I found is if I adjust the opacity, at least in the previous version, which maybe I should fire that up too. Let's go ahead and fire that up, because it was actually working over here a little bit better. Let's see. This is what I was testing here, and I'll show you this king stuff in just a few. But I'm not seeing anything here, and I don't know why. And again, maybe it's because the saturation can't be at complete 0. Maybe I have to do 0.000001 or 0.001. Yeah, I don't know. And then bring this down. Okay, so now it's working. See, it can't be at full 1, which is why I was trying to do it with the zeros here. This has to be at least 0.9999. And once it's like that, then any of the transparency will bleed through, and you'll see this color bleeding through with the transparency, which you do. But it says 1 here, but it can't be at exactly 1. And so it has to be like 0.999, which I'm pretty sure that would be a bug. So I will try to report that. Also, same thing with the key color here. You see how the saturation can't be at a hard 0. Oh, well, no, look, now it can. So I don't know. I don't know how that is working or why that's working. Oh, okay. That's why. So I put the opacity of I had the wrong thing selected. Okay, so the opacity of this has to go down. Can't be all the way at 1. You see, if it's at a hard 1, it won't work. So just 99 is fine there, and then, or maybe 0.999, and then you get the same desired effect there. So now I can change this color to whatever I want underneath there, and if I don't want any color, I just move that, and then that should be alpha over. But I don't think I want to do it that way. An easier way to do all of this, I just wanted to kind of test out the keying again. But the easier thing that I wanted to do is take this. We can actually get rid of that modifier, and you can hide the modifier too, just by doing this, just like any other modifiers, which is really nice. So I just want to get rid of it, and then get rid of that color. And then we'll bring this over here for now. Just maximize this area a little bit. And then something that you can do with on the strip tab here is crop. And I love this crop. This is so much better than what it used to be way back in the day, where you'd have to do some funky weird stuff. But now 0, 0, 0 is in the middle. So if I crop from the left, it's going to go right from the left. If I crop from the right, it's going to go directly from the right. If I click and drag down both of those, it's going to crop. I mean, if I click and down on all 4 of those, it's going to crop like that. So I'm just going to get. I just want the frenzy. So just something like this, and I guess I can also do the top and the bottom like that. And now, if I get my tweak mode, so the toolbar over here on the preview tweak mode, you can hold this down and select these. Tweak mode, I can just click and drag straight away. The origin point is still here. You can see that with that little dot. You can move that by going to transform and then origin, and just move that to like where you want that to be. Now if I rotate it, it's going to rotate on that origin, and that's R for rotate there. So anyway, what I want to do is put like right here, put frenzy. Maybe I'll uh, make that a little bit bigger. And we'll say frenzy, and then I'll put like another word hangouts down here. So we have to add in a text, and then that is going to be over here. We do hangouts, and then that's down here. Bring up that size, but I want to open the fonts, and I need to figure out where. Okay, Comic Relief. This is kind of like Comic Sans, which I know people absolutely love, but for now it's going to be, and by love I mean hate, but for now it's going to be this. Cool thing I can do though here, if I actually come over here, I want the same color as this, or maybe I'll have it a different color, but we'll start with this color. So the timeline cursor is over here. I have this one selected. If I go to wait, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to, oh no, the text I want selected because I need the color. That's right. So if I take the color and I take this eyedropper, and I can come up here and choose this same exact color for that, and now it's Frenzy Hangouts. But and then we want to put another color underneath here, and just change that to white, and ta-da! So we want something like that, except for maybe we can change the hue of the text a little bit. Purple, or maybe something that's different than my original one here. Let's do, yeah, I think kind of like purple. So Frenzy Hangouts. I'll 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 maybe try to change this a little bit later. This also looks a little bit boring. Maybe if I do that, let's put the text on top. Frenzy Hangouts. This is gonna be good enough for now, I think. So I'm just gonna render this out as an image. Boom. And let's save it. Let's save it as, and I'm just gonna save it as, where's my MoGraphs? Let's see, Frenzy Hangouts, PNG. Okay, and see, and then I can make this into my, put that in my scene here. Okay, I'm also learning studio mode here, so studio mode, you guys can still hear me, but I'm actually adjusting this little studio mode. You see, the music should be playing in this scene, so I don't know why it isn't. Oh, I know why it isn't now, because obviously it's not the active scene. Okay, so I need to add in a different image here. Do the Frenzy Hangouts. We'll call that like that, and we'll call it that, not call it like that. That is not the one. That is not the right picture. I know this is so super exciting for you guys right now. Wait, what? That's the wrong. MoGraphs. Yeah, Frenzy Hangouts. There we go. Haha. And then that should be on along with the music, which actually maybe I should put it on the top. Put the music on the top. Will that then play? All right, I'm gonna try this now. Oh, it also has to be. I also have to say back in a moment. On that actually does have to be on top. The back in the moment. I gotta change that to. Is it okay there? I don't know. Back in a moment. Let's move this to, no, that's the wrong thing. back in a moment. We can change that. Oh my goodness. I am so no. I am so not hip with it on the okay. Yes, there we go. Let's move it. Can I move it? Back in a moment. Text right there. Does it look good there? Maybe, probably not. Okay. All right, let's do a transition to this. Do I just press transition? All right, I do press transition. That is how you do the studio mode. Okay. Still don't know if you can hear the music though. I don't know what's up with that, but um, the music should play. Hide all. Okay. Yeah, whatever. All right. So that is kind of how I would do something like this in the Blender video sequence editor. But uh, again, we got new stuff. So let's see. Let me check. Hi, whoever is still watching. Welcome to the channel. Um, but what I want to do now is go to my other blend file that I just had open. Okay, so what I said I was going to do before is show you how to do like this green screen stuff. So I'm just going to go ahead and now hold on. If I get rid of this compositor node, okay, so this still actually stays. Oh wait, no, because I had it pinned, so it doesn't stay. So that just deleted everything. But if I made a fake user and then I got rid of it, okay, well, oh, maybe if I add a compositor modifier, okay, and then I can change it. Okay, cool. And that probably was the case even if I didn't have a fake user there because I hadn't closed Blender yet. Anyway, so I'm just doing I'll do a new one. So I can change between these. So this is just like geometry nodes. And you have your nodes here. And the nodes, they're like shader nodes, but in the geometry node format as a modifier in the video sequence editor. So it's just pulling a whole bunch of different ideas from Blender, smashing them together, and spitting them out in the VSE. And I love it. I love it. So that's what we're going to do. So it's going to look something like this. So I took my green screen that I had back here, and then we did exactly the same kind of thing that we would do in the compositor, in just the compositor, the regular compositor, for getting rid of the green screen background or whatever color background. You do the keying node, you do the garbage matte with the box mask, and then you would render it out into an image sequence or a video. Anything that had transparency. So the video would have to be something like an EXR or something that had transparency. Usually I would do an image sequence in like a PNG RGBA format, and then I would import that back into the video sequence editor because it was not connected like it is now. And then I would have to put the background over it and everything, and then we would have to do adjustments there, and then we'd have to re-render it. So a lot of different steps in between these. Excuse me. And then this here saves us so much time. So so many different steps are saved, and we can tweak it on the fly as we go, as we watch it in the video sequence editor as kind of like the final clip. So we're gonna mimic this one. I'm just gonna hide that one. I'm gonna add another one. Because you can add as many as you want because it's a modifier, and we're going to say new, and then this is where you get your little group input node, which comes from the video sequence editor, and it comes into here, and then we group output that over here, and then the output and the viewer comes back over here into the preview, and this is that's what you would see. So it's kind of the similar loop that you would see in the 3D preview geometry nodes, or 3D preview modifier geometry nodes output back into the 3D preview, but in the video sequence editor. Okay, so add in, I'm going to do a keying node, and you can search for it. These are all, I think these are all the same nodes that you can use in the actual compositor. Uh, I don't know if there are any that are only specifically to the VSE and vice versa. I haven't tested that far yet. So, but basically, this is what I did. So we've got the blue color underneath it. Right now, I'm just going to hide that so we just get the transparency, the alpha, which is what you would normally see there anyway. So we've got the key color, and I do apologize that my nose is really itchy. I have fall allergies, so but yeah, so here what I do is I take this eyedropper for the key color and I'd select a dark green. I don't know why, it just works better with darker colors. Now I could select a lighter green, it's just you can see this ugliness over here, which you could solve very easily by just clicking and dragging this down. And as you drag it down, you can see all that brown like uh, leftover kind of dust or whatever it was. You can also do this. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can adjust it. This isn't really a keying tutorial. I'm just testing the keying method out on this new compositor modifier. Okay, so before we do anything else, let's just go ahead and just see what this looks like with the color underneath. So I will unhide this, Alt H to unhide, and now we have this. And now I can just scrub through. And what you want to do is see like, the edges here. And this is what the compositor is going to do. And this is actually not too bad, just on its own. I haven't done any sort of pre or post processing, but you could do a slight blur on the pre-processing, which might make it better. You can also do a blur or a feather on the post-processing to make it blend into the background a little bit more. You can just hide that to also make to see, or just duplicate that. Shift D is to duplicate. Alt H to Alt H to unhide that, and we can change this color. Let's just bring the saturation and hue all the way down to a white. So that might give us a clue on kind of some of the edges over here, but this is actually not too bad just out of the box with the keying here. And actually that is probably my fault, because what I did on the other modifier, so if I hide this and bring this other one back up, and we can also probably check it here. So I think it was this one. I selected a color that was probably the darker color. So maybe it's better to select a lighter color and then just slide that down to a darker color. I'm not sure. Again, this is not a keying tutorial. It's just I'm messing around with the different keying options. So I'll go ahead and go back to this. What's this one called? Just sequencer compositor nodes. Oh, it says 3. Because there are 3 here now. But I think it was .002. Okay. So now it says .002 here. So, okay, I guess I can change it here as well. Okay, so let's do, okay, so this one wasn't, I'll just get rid of that one. We don't need that one. 2. It's kind of a mess right now. I'm just kind of doing off the seat of my pants. Oh, hey, look at this, Jedediah Phillips. Wait, these nodes are for the sequencer in the new Blender 5? Yeah. Isn't that awesome? Like, that's exactly what I didn't know this either until like a couple of days ago. No, I knew that when they did the Blender Live, and actually I think in the Blender conference, what they said was that there was one talk talking about the compositor and the sequencer being linked together now. And I was like, really? I was like, well, that's great, because so far from now, or up until now, the video editor, the sequencer, and the movie clip editor have been completely separate. They've been almost like separate programs, but that were packaged along with Blender, and you could like still do all the Blender UI with it, but they weren't actually connected to anything else. And so when I heard that they were going to connect this to the compositor, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But yeah, it's like a mixture of shader nodes, compositor nodes, and geometry nodes all kind of combined together. So you have the compositor, sorry, you have the video sequence editor. You add a modifier, just like you were to add a geometry nodes modifier in the preview. Which you probably already know, but for those who don't know, you add a mesh. We'll just do a cube, and then on this cube, if we drag up a geometry node editor, we can go to the modifiers and either click here, new, or here over here, add a modifier, and do geometry nodes. So this is the geometry nodes modifier, and click new, and now we have a group input, a group output, and you put whatever is in between here. So if I want to do a scale elements, I don't know if does that work. Oh yeah. So now if whatever it encounters in here, the group input comes from here to here to here to here. We scale it, and then it spits it out the group output out back up here in the preview. So it's the same thing. So you have this the video strip, and then you add the modifier, create a new one. Then in the compositor, so this is the compositor, has a new drop down where you have the scene. This is just a regular scene, just regular compositing. But now it has a new drop down where you can choose sequencer, and it acts just like the geometry nodes group input and group output. But here, instead of shader nodes, you have the compositor nodes that you would use for compositing. And then the group output then spits it back out over into the VSE, and then you can see it there. This is going to revolutionize the video editing in Blender, and it's going to save so much time because, like I said, you had to originally do all your keying and stuff in the compositor, render it out as an image sequence as an output, then re-import that image sequence back into the video sequence editor and do that. And if you had to change something, you would have to do it all over again. So now they are like completely connected, and yeah, that's amazing. So yeah, I don't know, Jedediah, I don't know if you do many or much video editing in Blender, but if you do, this is going to be a game changer. So so what I'm doing basically is I'm just doing the regular compositor keying, and I'm testing that out in the video sequence editor. But because this is alpha, there's a bug. There's a couple of bugs, but the bug that I noticed for the keying is the overlay, the transparency. But I'll get to that in just a second because I want to get this mask up. So if I just hide this again, so here's what we have right now. Just with our keying this green background out, this is what we have. And I want to get rid of these sides here too. So what you would do is just add a box mask. So go to mask and then box mask. Or you can do, I guess right here you can also do an ellipse mask now, double edge mask. I haven't tried any of these, so there's some new options down here as well. I just do the box mask, put it into, actually we have to open up our mask and put it into the garbage mat here, which is this one. Now it gets rid of the wrong one. So I don't want it to get rid of what's inside. I want it to get rid of what's outside of the box. So we just have to put an invert node. I mean, there may be a way to do it here. I tried to do subtract, but it doesn't work. And I did, not, and that also doesn't work. So just add, and then we add in a color, invert color here, and just plug that in between, and then now you have everything on the outside of the box is cut out, and then everything inside of the box is kept in, and then we could just adjust the size of the box. So just the size of the X and the Y, and we get something like that. So since I'm not moving, this is perfect because I'm just staying still in the video. And if we scrub through, you can see that's what we have. Um, Something else you would want to probably do with the keying as well, and you can't really tell right now if you're just kind of looking at it, but the what is it called? The despill down here. Um, so you got that green from the green screen spilling over to the edges of my being here. So I'm just going to bring that down, not the strength, the balance. So bring this down to the left, I believe. So if I go really, you can see I start to turn purple if I go too far. And then if I go too far to the right, then you can see that all that green right there. So by default, it's 0.5. I like to do like a 0.2 or 0.3, maybe a 0.3, maybe a 0.25. Yeah, and then it gets rid of a lot of that green. Okay, but this is what I was having trouble with initially. So if you can see that the opacity for the footage here is at 1, that's not actually true. If I click in there, it's 0.999999. And the reason it's 0.9999 is because if I actually slide this all the way to 1 and then have unhide my blue or white, it doesn't matter, anything beneath this is not going to show. So the blue should be showing right now. So this is, I think we've found a bug, which I'll try to report. But the yeah, right here. So here, if I do 0.999 and enter, now you can see the blue. So I'm pretty sure that's a bug because you want to be able to slide this to opacity 0, but the opacity of the actual strip should be at 1, and then the keying here should take care of the alpha. The transparency. All of this should be transparent automatically, but for some reason it's not translating that into the group output. And maybe I do know that in the shader nodes you can like check boxes where it says like use alpha or something like that. Maybe we need something like that here, like a use alpha thing. But I don't know. Until then, if I put this down to 0.9999999, then that's enough for Blender to. Oh no, that's not enough. Okay, so it can't have too many nines. Maybe 4 nines. There we go. So that's a workaround for now. But again, this is good that we're rigorously testing this because we need to figure out, where the bugs are, what might need to be added, what might be okay. But yeah, no, this is going to be a game changer. This is just amazing. Let me look and see, what did you say? I love this. I've watched your channel a bunch just to get the video sequencer for the basic edits, and so I was excited that it's getting attention. Yes, so and I said this a couple days because I had a live stream a couple days ago. And they at the Blender conference, and I actually went to Blender in August. And I didn't plan. I mean, I didn't schedule anything. They have visitor hours that you can just pop in, and I just popped in. Or as some Europeans say, just rocked up. I just rocked up. We don't have that phrase here in America, but I just popped in, and Trisha was great. She took us on like a tour. They say it's only 5 to 10 minutes, but she was really nice. Took her time, and I got to meet Pablo. I'm so sad that Ton wasn't there. So Ton and Francesco were both at SIGGRAPH that week, and so I didn't get to see him. And now he's stepping down, and so I'm really sad about that I didn't get to meet him before he stepped down. And I just don't think I'm going to be able to make it back there, in that between now and when he's officially done. But anyway, so no, Pablo, when I talked to him, he was there, and so I got to meet him. I got to take a picture with him, and he was awesome. And he was saying, because I was telling him I used the Blender as a video editor. And I said thank you for keeping the video editing going. And he was like, oh yeah, actually it's getting, it's actually going to continue because they're doing storyboarding. And if you watch my last live stream, we talked about the different scene strips and how they're connected. And actually I can probably do some of that, here now, um, because I do want to kind of test that out. Um, but it functions more like maybe a professional studio would, where you have different shots and you can edit the shots themselves. Um, but then that shot exists in a master shot where you have all of the shots put together. And the way that they've been doing it, the way they've kind of revamped everything to work like that is really cool. Um, so I just it's a little overwhelming, and I'm like, okay, so how am I going to test this out? So that's kind of why like I said, these hangouts are more of just hangouts. So I'm going to probably do more live streams like this, just to where we can hang out, I can test things, and it's going to be a lot of alpha and beta testing for new ones because I don't usually like to do full on projects with alpha or betas. I like to have the long-term support releases to do stuff with, because I know that those are going to get the bug fixes, and things aren't going to change from day to day. That's what you really want with when you're doing a project. But I thought a live stream would be good to just like kind of hang out, shoot the breeze, answer some questions, and just test out some new features. And there's no, the stakes are really low, and you can kind of help out the Blender Foundation with finding things. But the Hangouts are good. I was originally going to call this Alpha Beta Hangouts, which I originally did with the title. I changed it though because I want it to be Frenzy Hangouts, because I want to just do what I want to do. I just want to, like, if I feel like streaming something that's completely different than testing something, then I want to be able to do that. But a lot of it will be this testing. Yeah, this is going to revolutionize so many workflows. Yes. Yes. With the I haven't even gotten to, like, because we were reading through. In fact, let me put that up. We were reading through the Blender stuff over here. Blender release notes. I was trying to get OBS to work earlier here. I'm just going to put this up here. Blender release notes 5. So we only got up to here's the video sequencer. So we did the sequencer scene, and then sequencer time synchronization, which I didn't quite understand until, like, I messed around with it a little bit, and yes, it was awesome, like I was saying, with the different shots that you can put together in a master scene. Strip modifiers. This is what we just went over. The compositor strip modifier was added, which gives so many, like, even just the invert color, like. And we can look at that in a second. But this is as far as we got. I haven't even looked at any of this other stuff yet. So that we might be able to do that tonight a little bit too. I plan on trying to do a couple more live streams. I've got several obligations from now and throughout the weekend, but I still maybe do a couple more live streams if I can, to kind of finish some of this other stuff. But I definitely wanted to look at the strip modifiers. But one of the things that we didn't have the ability to do with a regular modifier let's just go to the modifiers and hide this. So the only modifiers that we had was brightness, contrast, color balance, compositor, and no, we didn't have the compositor. Sorry. Did we have the? Oh yeah, curves, hue correct, mask. We had everything else, but there wasn't a quick way to invert the colors. So if I wanted to invert the colors, previously I'd have to go to curves and then drag, which is not. I mean, this is not that hard. You can drag these, and that inverts the color. So if you wanted to do the same thing, like on a well, let's see, bring this up on a white color. So you would add and you do curve, and I wanted to change, white to black or black to white. Or let's do this. This is gonna make it a little bit more apparent. So let's do let's get rid of that modifier. Let's do oop, yeah, no. Y. Oh, right. Okay, duh. Okay, so now we have a square, a white square on a black background, and if I put those in a meta strip, which is Control G. Now, if you had a mask and you wanted to invert that mask, which I've wanted to do a lot of times, you'd have to do this. Which again, that's not that hard, but I felt it was kind of like a little bit wonky. But now, if I do a compositor, and then we can do, I'll just do a new, and then I'll just title this invert color. And now all I have to do is add a color invert node here, which makes it's more straightforward. And then there you go. And this is the first time I've actually tested this out because I just assumed that was going to work. I'm glad I tested it because it might not work. And now you even have a factor here. So now we have we can go in between, back and forth, invert color. You can invert the alpha, whether it's alpha or not. So that's really cool. Okay, we got some more questions here or comments. This is something I asked you about a few months back. I was shocked that Blender had a compositor and a video editor, but there was no connection between them. Oh yeah, I remember that comment. Yeah, I was also I've also been sort of frustrated with that too, just because it takes so much time if you were to do all your compositing in the compositor, render it out. That alone takes time, and then you have to re-import that into the video sequence editor. And then if something isn't right, you're like, oh, okay, got to go back to the compositor, redo all of that, re-export it or re-render it, re-import it. This is going to save so much time, and so I'm so happy that they've connected these. And I was unsure of how they were going to do it, but the way that they're doing it, like the modifier and the nodes type stuff, which I guess is part of their everything nodes goal. It's just great. So great. It's just so well integrated. So from a workflow standpoint, this will bring a lot closer to DaVinci Resolve. Yeah, I hope so. I hope Blender replaces everything. I'm such a Blender nerd. I love the fact that it's open source. I love the fact that it really is. If you know how to use it, it's really competitor to I think the Adobe suite. I mean, and the Adobe suite, not only do they charge you an arm and a leg for the things that they do, but they now, of course, with AI and everything, they spy on you constantly, and you have to have licensing and the licensing fees, and everybody wants a cut of the money, and then you can only have it on so many computers, and then you have to it's just such a headache, and that's why I'm so Blender is the diamond in the rough. It's like something that people can use and have access to that are aspiring creative artists, filmmakers, just anybody who can't afford like an Adobe suite and the Creative Commons, or not the is it the Creative Commons, Adobe Creative Suite, sorry, the Creative Suite license for all of these different things. In fact, one of my goals of this channel, of Blender Frenzy, is to show what you can do in Blender the same as with the Adobe Suite. So I want to start. I've been for years now. I've wanted to start. I have so many ideas, but I've wanted to start this thing called "Do It in Blender," meaning you don't have to do it in DaVinci Resolve. You don't have to do it in Houdini or the Adobe Suite. But up until now, it's kind of like, Blender has, kind of in the past been a lot very limited. But now, I mean, it's just growing so rapidly, and it now has so much support and so much clout, and like, I mean, it's just there are tutorials everywhere, and the Blender community is awesome. So um like it's I think it's gonna I think it's hopefully one day gonna blow all of these other, you know, money hungry people out of the water. But that's my 2 cents. um let's see what else. um let's see. The compositor modifier kind of feels like it's the last modifier you ever need. um I would like a geometry nodes modifier in the VSE. I think that would, the compositor and maybe even a shader editor. I don't know. Maybe that's too much. But if you had a geometry nodes modifier here, you could do the same exact thing, and then you could use that for your titles, which again, that's another thing I want to get into, is showing how you can like automate transitions and titles and things like that, where all you have to do is type in the name of what you want, and then all of the MoGraph and all of the animations will automatically adjust to your text. And I've done some of that already, but like there's so much you can do with that. Now you can still do that in Blender and then put a scene strip in there, and then have it pull from the geometry nodes 3D preview. But if you had a geometry nodes modifier within here, um, that pointed to a specific geometry thing, I don't know. I don't. Maybe that again. That's overthinking it. Um, the last thing. The compositor. Sorry, man. I mean, you guys are asking or talking about a lot of really cool things here. The compositor modifier kind of feels like the last thing you have to implement is the GPU encoding. If they do that, it's going to be amazing. Yeah, that's something that I'm not too familiar with. I haven't really dabbled into that. I mean, don't you? Uh, is the Because I've not actually known how the VSE renders stuff. Does it use the GPU or not? Maybe it just uses CPU. And if so, does it use like a render? Because it has EV and cycles for the 3D preview. But do you guys know like what render is used for the video editor? I don't know. Uh, AI AI democratizes art. No, open source DC tools like Blender democratize. Absolutely, absolutely. And hey, look, I don't. Okay, oh man, you guys got me going now. So I don't mind AI. I don't mind tools, like any tools, because AI I consider just a tool to do something. I don't mind tools as long as they don't spy on me. I don't have to sign my life away for them, and that they don't cost very much. I don't mind paying for something like a tool, because I've paid for some add-ons in Blender that are really good, but I only paid once. Like I will not buy Keen Tools, because Keen Tools they have an amazing like camera tracking software, but $18 a month? Are you kidding me? No. For no. Like I guess if that was my job and that was all I was doing is just match moving and camera tracking, I can maybe see it. But then I have to have an account, and then they have that information. It's just like all they want is information. Blender's never asked me for any information other than the information I provide them to, like, do the Blender ID and reporting bugs and stuff. I mean, and yet it's so powerful, and I can put it on as many computers as I want. I mean, I could just like, yeah, I can. I mean, you can see I'm a fanboy of Blender so much, and I was very giddy when I was there. I think I kept my cool enough. But see, I'm not even doing anything. I'm not even testing. But that's why I call it Hangouts. We're just hanging out, chatting. Um, you're gonna get a lot of my opinions coming out here that I don't normally do in my videos. Um, I'm not sure if you were aware, but GIMP 3 is also out and has non-destructive layer effects, and now is a lot of ways superior to Adobe. I did not know. Is GIMP 3 new? I mean, I knew. Wait, do I have GIMP 3? I know I have GIMP. Is it 3? Hold on. Yeah, I have 3.0 of GIMP. But I haven't. I mean, I haven't messed around with it a lot. Yeah, no, I love GIMP too. I mean, GIMP is also GIMP is right up there with Blender, and those two in combination, yeah, you could do probably most things that Adobe can do. Um, you know, aside from like there are some really cool tools that you can buy as add-ons too with the Adobe suites, especially for like match moving and stuff. Um, I have converted all my Photoshop workflows now to GIMP. Oh, really? So it's that powerful? You can actually do everything that you were doing in Photoshop and GIMP now? That's really cool. Let's see. Video editor in Blender uses CPU only at the moment. Okay, see that's I didn't know that. And they recently implemented threading, so it uses all CPUs. Oh, I also didn't know that. DaVinci Resolve will export using GPU and it's 10 times. Oh, of course. So yeah, if you use the GPU, it's of course it's 10 times faster. I've definitely spent over $1,000 on Blender plugins by now. Hey, yeah, but that's a really good way to give back to the Blender community. And those see, again, I don't mind spending the money. Again, if they're not going to spy on me, I don't have to sign my life away, and it actually helps me to do the job that I need to do. I no problem with that. I mean, I want to make my living with Blender, and so I hope people pay me, for, you know, but I hope I'm giving people good value, and I'm not trying to steal their souls, you know. Um, Game 3 has been developed for over 12 years. Okay, wow. So when did it recently come out? So I'm using Linux now, and so it's just recently I've well, I should say I've recently started in the past. When did I switch full time to Linux? I think it was like June or July, just a couple months ago. Before then, I was kind of doing the dual boot, but now I'm strictly Linux because again, I don't want people to. I don't want Microsoft to spy on me, and I don't want my soul to be taken by them either. Being a bit dramatic here, of course. So anyway, having said that, Linux updates all of my software automatically. So I actually didn't know about the jump from what was it 2.8? I know GIMP was 2.8 for like the longest time. Um, yes, I'm on Linux Mint as well now. GIMP 3 came out in the spring. Okay. Yeah, I don't use GIMP very much. I might start using it more. I mean, it is pretty powerful. I just even the stuff that's in GIMP that you can do in GIMP as far as photo stuff, I actually always think to myself, I wonder if I could do this in Blender. And there's something that I'm working on now that I've been working on for years that I'm trying to implement that's just using Blender that you can do with other software, but I'm like, no, I want to know how I can do it in Blender, partly because I like to have that control. And sorry, I'm like, it's just me and you two hanging out, and I don't care. I mean, people can watch it or they cannot watch it. I don't mind. I like shooting the breeze here. I love talking all stuff Blender anyway, but I also don't want to bore you guys. So let's do that scene strip again. So since you guys are here, let me get in another video. Let's see. I'm using, by the way, so Linux Mint is good. I've used that in the past. I'm using Zorin OS now because it's really like aesthetically it's like Windows, and I do like the Windows aesthetic. Um, okay, let's see, Blender. I guess I'll do. Let's see. Oh wait, no, hold on. I think I can do Old Man Justin here. Yeah. I'm looking more and more like this every day already. um, am I still on with OBS? Yes. Okay. So, uh, all right, but I don't want this here. Um, I want to create a new scene. So one of the other things, this we went over this last time, but I'm going to go over it again because I want to kind of test it with different videos and stuff. But you have scenes here, down here, and up here. So this is edit. We only have the edit scene in here, but if I copy this or I make a new scene, I can actually, if I add a scene, I can add an empty scene. And so this is now a new scene, which now exists in our scene dropdown up here and up here. If I change scene over here, it's separate from over here. So this is still the edit, but now this is the scene we created. For example, if we just say master, this is our master scene, which I'll go ahead and delete that from here. Let's get this back. I'm just gonna hide that. We'll just have this now. And then in my scene, I can change that here. I can add that Old Man Justin video. And this is how we can do, like if you're filming stuff, you're creating a short and you have different shots and different scenes that you've shot with other people, or maybe it's an animation that you've shot and you have different scenes. You can edit these shots individually. So in these sequencer scenes. So we'll just call this Old Man Justin, and that's the Old Man Justin shot. So I can come over here and I can make my cuts here and do something like this, just something really simple. And I've turned off, oh no, I haven't. So I'm going to turn off play audio. I don't actually want to play the audio right now. Disconnect those. So strip, they're connected by default. I'm going to disconnect them. Well, maybe. There we go. Okay, so hide that. Actually, just going to delete those. I don't want to mess with the audio. And then clear those out. And so now I have a little cut scene here. The color is wrong on this, but this is the master scene. So let's go to the Old Man Justin scene and go down to color management and change this to standard. Did that okay, yeah, that did change that. Okay, good. So that's standard, and then let's go back here to the master scene, and then here's my Old Man Justin scene. If I put it here, it should show Old Man Justin over that, but it doesn't. And I don't know why. Is that just because I hide? Unhide. Okay. Okay, input sequencer. There we go. Okay. So you actually have to tell it that it needs to be the sequencer and not the camera. This would be the 3D camera, which of course it's not, well, I do have something in there, but it's probably just gray because that's what it's showing. Just the cube there. So let's do sequencer, and now I can have different shots in here, and then I can place them in my master shot like this. And then I'm like, oh, you know what? This actually needs to be a little bit shorter, or I have to adjust things. I can actually go to my Old Man Justin scene, adjust what I need to adjust, maybe flip these. So now it's the same length, but it's just now they're flipped. And then I can go back to my master, and then hopefully, actually I probably have to refresh. Control E is refresh, and then yep, now it's so this brings so much potential. And then if I have this sync scene time, if I move the scene time in my master, it's going to put the scene time in my Old Man Justin scene. Now, you can see it's on frame 3 here. Let's just go to frame 1. And now it should be, well, I guess that, yeah, so this should be, if I put that at frame 1, I think that's supposed to be at frame 1 here, but it's not. It's not supposed to be at frame 1 here because frame 1 here in the master scene is different. It's relative. It's relative to the scene. So Old Man Justin frame 1, let's go, would be right, it would be right here. So this is frame 1, and then be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now we're on frame 130 here, but that should be 10, frame 10, and it is, in our scene, which is exactly what you would want if you were trying to do precise editing within the shot, because this is frame 10 relative to the shot, but relative to the master, it's frame 130. That is also going to revolutionize it's just a game changer for the video sequence editor. Go back to your comments here. Let's see. 12 years. This I'm okay. I say, I'm. You're great, Jedediah. You're great. Holy crap! Blender 5 in a month. Insane. Yeah. Well, the beta was already supposed to be out. They did delay the beta for a week, so now it's coming out on Monday, which is I don't know. Let's see. Not Monday. Sorry, Wednesday. Next Wednesday, the 8th, is when it's scheduled. I think, if I'm not mistaken. So that's the beta testing, meaning they're not going to add any new features or change anything. It's just going to be bug fixes. But I'm going to be continually testing it out. Maybe even doing a lot more live streams where people can help me do some bug testing. And then I might also show. I need to refresh my memory of how to create a bug or a bug report. I know you go up to help, report a bug here, and it'll actually pull all of your system information, anonymous system information, just like the Blender version that you're using, your operating system, things like that. And then because you actually they request that information anyway, but now you don't have to type it; it just plops it in. But you have to have an ID. I don't know if it's a Blender ID or you have to actually log into the Blender development thing. Let's see, Blender bug reporting. Blender bugs in Blender. Okay, projects. Okay, yeah. So in order to, I think in order to see this and in order to, maybe it's just because I'm using a VPN. Like, I have to actually sign in order to see it. But here you go. So I'm signed in as Blender Frenzy. So projects.blender.org. You can do, yeah, I guess bug. Oh, hey, it's 2 years ago. It looked like I commented on some bugs there, but I don't do it very often. I need to get in a better habit of doing it because I would really like to show my support for the work that they're doing on the VSE and especially integrating it with the compositor. It was just whoever came up with that is genius. So good job, Blender team. So I don't how do I see? I don't know how to report something. Well, report a bug. Maybe click the button that says report a bug. But see, yeah, see Blender version. This is the example. But see, I think if okay, hold on. Let's just do it since we have it up. No, that's not the right one. What's the right one? This is the right one. Help. Report a bug. It's a leafy bug. There we go. So see, it filled in all my information here. all of the what I'm using, uh, and graphics and stuff like that. Um, Broken version, newest version of Blender that worked as expected. Well, it's kind of hard because I suppose 4.5.3. I mean, it didn't really. Th- we haven't had the compositor, so it didn't really work. 4.5.3. And then I would fill out all. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it now. But this is how you would do it, and you can title it and stuff like that. Of course, again, you'd have to log in to the Blender developer page there. So I highly recommend doing that. If you guys don't know how to do that, that'd be good. Good to do. Um, so let's see. When did I start this? How long have we been going? Oh, let's go to OBS Studio. Hour and 18. Hour and 18. Okay, well, I might start to wrap it up here in a little bit. You know what? Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to delete this scene from here. This is not going to be my master scene. This we'll just call this green screen, and then I will make a new one, just a new scene, and then this is called master scene. And then this is ideally what you would do. You would just add in each of those scenes. So here's the green screen scene, and then the old man Justin scene. And then I'm guessing you could also cut this as well. This also needs to be sequencer. And the green screen, make sure you're on the green screen up here if you need to change the color space settings. Well, is that okay? Standard. Oh, maybe. Okay, maybe not. Oh, master. I need to be on the master. There we go. Standard. That makes sense because I'm on the master here. Okay. And so then we have, oh, the old man Justin. Of course, we have to make that sequencer as well. And there we go. Now we can switch between those scenes. And this actually is a lot cleaner. So normally what you would do instead of this is add everything into like a meta strip. So you would have each of these have a meta strip, and then you could go inside the meta strip and you could change things there. But I don't know why, but I like having completely different scenes where that's the only thing in the scene is whatever you have cut here. And I know it's not maybe not all that much different than having it as a meta strip. I don't know. What do you guys think? I like having a master scene with all of the different clips together because it just feels more intuitive, and it also feels more like what an actual studio would use, as different shots. Here's the shot, and it's separate, but it's linked to the master. So yeah. But you know what we can do? I can go back and glimpse at oh, this was Blender bug report. Oh yeah, right. What was I? Oh, I wanted to go to the docs. Oh yeah, this one. Okay, so all strip modifiers now feature icons. Uh, strip modifier UI has been updated to use panels that can be dragged and dropped similar to object modifiers. Right. Um, right. Let's just look at that in the picture if they have a picture of that. So here's the before. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. No, this is really nice too. I was actually just thinking about this recently. So now you can drag. Well, this is probably easier just to show. Now you can drag the modifiers, and so you can put a modifier on a whole scene strip, but do its own color balance here. It's just so awesome. So let's just do a couple. I'm just gonna put like whatever here. I'm not gonna. But you used to have to click the buttons up, 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 up. Well, now I can just take the bottom one and then put it to the top if I want to. Click and drag. That's what they're talking about. Just that again saves so much time. Because if you have a whole bunch of modifiers here and you want the bottom one now to be up on top, you have to click up, click up, click up, click up, click up. So that is also really awesome. Let's see. We can close this and this and this. Actually, we can close all those. Leave, yeah. All right. All strip modifiers feature icons. Okay, I didn't know they didn't have icons before, to be honest. Okay, these icons. I knew that the icons looked different. I think it was all the same icon. I think it was maybe just like that little page. That's cool. User interface. Adding strips with Shift A drops them where your mouse is. Oh yeah, I did actually notice that. So this is really easy to. So if I want to add in a color strip, now it's just right where my mouse is, and I start to move my mouse right away, and it follows my mouse until I click to put it somewhere. So yeah, that's useful. It depends on you know what your workflow is. Let's see. This is enabled by default moving strips property. Okay, I guess you can disable it, which is nice if you don't like it. If this feature is used, the mouse cursor lies outside of the VSC region when the add happens. Strip starting positions are clamped to the sequencer region bounds so that they are immediately visible. Yeah, that's helpful. Text strips no longer limit the text string length to 512 bytes. Okay, I didn't know it did. Text strips. So I haven't actually messed with the text strips yet. I mean, I have actually at the beginning of this stream I did, but I didn't do a lot with them. Text strips display now have their bounding box, including for selection and snapping around the text bounds and not the whole image size. Okay, that's also good, helpful. Let's see if there's a picture of that. Oh, here is a video. Even better. Let's see what's so then I don't have to do it. Just watch the video. unless it doesn't load. Then it's doesn't matter. All right, come on. No. No. All right, that's not going to play. It's too much information while I'm streaming. All right, let's try to refresh. It says I have excellent connection. I don't know what's going on. Okay, well, let's just try it. I mean, I don't think we really even need to try it. It's not really all that exciting. I mean, I can add in a text here, and we'll say, there we go. Blender 5.0 is awesome. Color black, I guess. Let's do. I don't know. I don't know what kind of font. What kind of font should I do? I don't know. So just something boring, I guess. There we go. Bring that up. Oh, that's rapidly. I want the size. Okay. Let's do a box. But yeah, so originally I believe, yeah, if I grab and move, the bounds were, around the edges up here of the entire frame, and so it's just saying that now the edges are around the text itself. Wonder if that affects like, oh yeah, so it affects the scale and stuff down here. Um, but the bounding box doesn't change when you change the location. Kind of slips it inside. That's interesting. Okay. Maybe it did that before. I don't know. Uh, let's do Blender 5 is awesome. Okay. What else? What else should we look at? I guess I can keep going here. I have a few more mins. Um, New footer region with playback frames. Bleh. New footer region with playback and frame range controls. I guess I'd need to see that. I keep looking at this animation, which we did do a little bit of that last time. It just the handles of the strips don't go past the media that they're holding. So the video, it stops at the end of the video or at the start of the video, unless you hold control, which then changes that. Um, oh, yes. No, I know what this is. This is this. Originally, you would actually have to have this playback area, this menu here. You would actually have to open up a timeline and then pull the timeline down, and then you would have a separate timeline thing. But you can see that this playback area with the playback controls and the frame start and end frames and frame range and all that stuff is actually integrated within the sequencer now, which yeah, that seems pretty intuitive. I'm really glad they did that, and then you don't have to have another editor on top of what you know your timeline. And they said they did it with a couple of the different editors there. I don't want that. What's this one? Images can be now added in bulk from drag and drop or the file browser. Yeah, that's good. You can do that originally, but it added them as an image strip, and there wasn't an option to import them individually. You could separate them. In fact, maybe that'll be the last thing that I test today. Let's see. Actually, we can just do a new scene here. Last thing I'll test is find an image sequence here. Okay, this is an image sequence of the video that I actually just have. So I'm just going to select a portion of these. I don't want to select too many. Okay, I'm going to just click and drag. This is a whole selection. Okay, view transform set to, okay. This is an image sequence. It didn't give me the option to import them as separately, like it said. Isn't that what it said? Or am I reading that wrong? Strips images can be, oh wait, no, hold on. Images can now be added in bulk from a drag and drop or the file browser. A new image sequence detection property has been added, which works like the image editor. Toggling it off will always import individual images and never create image sequences. That's what I'm. Where is that though? Does it have to be from the file browser in Blender? I'm guessing it does. I'm guessing it does. If it's on, you can also optionally use placeholders to fill in the gaps, which exhibits the same behavior as before. I never understood the whole fill in the gaps thing. Okay, did it was there a thing? Okay, hold on. Oh, maybe there was a thing that I just didn't see that popped up. Hold on, let me see if I can just do that again. Oh yeah. Aha. Yeah, here we go. Uncheck detect sequences. Yes. Okay, here's why I like this. This is really good because if you just do the image sequence, actually let me just do that. Let's do another one. Do the same one, and then put detect sequences. You only have one name. You have the footage 240, which is the frame 240, and that's for all of the images. But here you have 240, frame 241, 242, 243, and they have different names. And there have been so many times I've wanted to import the uh, the images individually like this, but I couldn't because here you can do this a similar thing too. Let's see how long is this? Source, no, not source, time. Okay, five duration 25. So 25 frames. So what you could do with this footage, unhide, there we go, is press Y, and that will separate all of them, each frame, and you can just say 25 here, and you can say separate, which would do the exact same thing, but let's see, I'll line it up here. So this is the exact same thing, but you can see all of them are named 240, 240, 240, 240. And then it has .001, 002, 003, 004. And that wasn't helpful for me because I wanted to have the actual name of the actual file from where it came. So that is why having this detect image sequence thing here is so good. Or uncheck that. You can uncheck that and then it will bring all of the images in at the same time instead of dragging them one at a time, which you had to do to accomplish the same thing before. So anyway, yeah, so welcome for everybody that has just come. We're kind of starting to wrap up here, but this is the new, we're testing the VSC and the compositor because now they're linked, going to be linked in 5.0 coming up, and it's just super amazing stuff. And while I have you, I'm going to give another quick shout out to Pygmacast. This guy, he's my friend, Frank W. Frank Walk. Go give him some love. Go watch his channel. He's a colorist. And so he does live streams where he just shows how he chooses color and shading and shadows and stuff from different comic books. He's also making his own comic book too. He doesn't for his, he does the drawing for his, but other people give him the drawings, just the stencils, and then he colors them in. So go give him a shout out. And or I'm giving him a shout out. Go give him a like and comment or whatever if that's something that you're into, is learning how to do the color stuff. And he doesn't use Blender for this, but I actually don't know what program he uses, but it's specifically for doing what he's doing. So anyway, another shout out to him before I head out. But I am getting parched and I need some water and I need some food, so I'm going to say goodbye and thank you for joining me. I'm going to try to do a couple more of these throughout until the beta comes out to see if we can test the Blender stuff rigorously enough to maybe hopefully report some bugs and make some changes for the better, some good changes. Where is the live streaming here? Okay. All right. Well, again, thank you. Hope you guys are having a good night. Hope you have a good rest of your night or day, I guess, depending on where you're watching this in the world. So happy blending, and you will see me in the next one. Talk to you later.